Hi and welcome to Love Doing Yoga on this Wednesday before Christmas. Hope you have everything ready and you're all set for Christmas and you're starting to settle into a quiet Christmas that we're going to have this year. We've pre-recorded this as our life has slightly got in the way of live yoga today. And it's a slightly shorter practice of 30 minutes because I'm assuming you have things to be getting on with too. So as always, throughout the practice, listen to your body, only do what feels right for you today. And we will start sitting down. So making yourself comfortable, you don't have to sit cross-legged, sit whatever way is easiest for you. Using a block if you want to. And if you are on a block or on the mat, just close your eyes and become aware of your seat bones, finding equal weight on both seat bones so that you're balanced in whatever way you're sitting. And let's just begin to move into the present moment, setting aside everything that's going on in your life and the world right now. This next 30 minutes is just about you connecting your mind with your body through your breath. So closing your eyes or letting your gaze just move down towards your heart. Just give yourself permission to turn inward. Taking note of your position on the mat. Once again, just identifying your seat bones. Ensuring you're equally balanced on both seat bones. Sitting up nice and tall with your ears over your shoulders and your shoulders over your hips. And let your attention now move to your breath as you breathe in through your nose into your belly, allowing your belly to fill and exhaling through the nose. And as you breathe there, just consciously let any points of tension relax. So if you hold your tension in your jaw, just let it relax out. Let your shoulders just soften. Doing a quick scan of your body, softening any areas that are feeling tense or tight. And taking 3 more breaths here. And just letting your left hand come down by your hip. And either with your eyes closed or if you want, you can have them open and gazing softly. Let's just draw that right arm up and over for a nice bend to the left. Just opening out the whole right side of your rib cage. Finding space there, breathing into that right side of the lung. And having softness in the bend. And coming up, let's just take that over to the other side. And one more breath here. Coming back to the center as we move into a little twist, putting your right hand onto that left thigh and thinking about the twist coming from your belly button. Watching that the head doesn't lead the twist. So we wanted to start with the belly button and really end with the chest, keeping your chin just over your chest. One more breath here. And coming back to the center, just allowing your body to settle after the twist. And moving it over to the other side again, starting the twist from the belly button. And one more breath here. And coming back to the center. And just allow the shoulders to round over so you begin to round out the spine. Taking a breath. And then opening the chest, exaggerating the bend, maybe bringing those hands behind you to open the spine out. And once again, rounding the spine all the way from the tailbone up to the shoulders. You let the elbows just turn out a little bit to really open out those shoulders. And bringing the chest up, opening it out, hands behind you. Good. And coming back to center, let's just make it onto all fours. And then from here, curling those toes, pushing the hips back to the heels as we make our way up into downward dog. Go nice and slowly. You haven't had any chance to warm up at all. So really just walk it out. Just allowing yourself to move into your downward dog. And when you're ready, finding that point of stillness wherever it is. Letting the gaze go towards the belly button. Now let's take one more breath here. And walking the feet up to the hands, coming to the top of the mat, bending the knees as you come all the way up. Good. And we're going to do a couple of sun salutes to get ourselves warmed up. So let's raise those arms up in the air and sweep them out to the side as we come into a forward fold. Bend your knees as much as you need to in this forward fold. And halfway lift. Nice long spine here, keeping the gaze on the mat in front of you. And forward fold. Let's step that right leg back. Dropping the knee, open the foot. Low lunge. And hands down either side of that foot, stepping back into your plank. And coming down here onto your knees, open out the feet, keeping the elbows in, let the chest come to the floor, then the belly, and then just lift up into a little back bend. Keeping the gaze on the mat in front of you, pushing up through all fours, adjust your hands as you need to, pushing the hips back, curling those toes and coming up into your downward dog. And let's get that right foot up to the top of the mat for a low lunge on this side.
And stepping up into your forward fold, bending your knees, come all the way up. Let's take that on the other side. Forward fold. And halfway lift. And a forward fold, stepping the left leg back. Low lunge. And moving it out into your plank. Taking a breath here. Coming down, knees, feet, chest. Through your cobra. And pushing up through tabletop to your downward dog. Let's get that left leg up to the top of the mat. Low lunge. And stepping the right foot up to meet the left, bend those knees, coming all the way up. Good. Let's try and sync it with the breath now. Taking a breath for each movement as we do a sun salute once again. So inhale, exhale, and let's sweep down into forward fold and take a breath. Coming up to your halfway lift, let's take a breath. And forward fold once again with a breath. And stepping the right leg back, coming up into your low lunge, take a breath. And moving it out into your plank, taking a breath. Coming down on your knees, feet, chest, and rolling into your cobra, taking a breath. Pushing up through your tabletop into your downward dog and take a breath. Stepping that right foot up to the top of the mat, into your low lunge, and take a breath. And hands down either side of the foot, stepping it up to meet the right. Bend those knees as you stand all the way up and take a breath. Let's take it now on the other side, and each time as we exhale, think about lifting your pelvic floor and drawing the belly button in and up. So raising those arms up, sweeping down into a forward fold. Take a breath. Exhaling, lifting the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And halfway lift, taking a breath. Remember that exhale, lift the pelvic floor. And forward fold again, taking a breath. And stepping the left leg back, coming up into your low lunge, taking a breath. On that exhale, lift the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. And moving through to your plank, take a breath again on that exhale. Lift the pelvic floor, belly button in and up. Coming down through knees, feet, chest. Rolling into your cobra. And again, taking a breath. Engaging that core on the exhale by lifting the pelvic floor. And moving through to your downward dog. Take a breath. Let's get that left foot up to the top of the mat. low lunge. And take a breath. Hands down, either side of the foot, stepping that right foot up to meet the left, bending the knees, coming all the way up, hands into prayer, and take a breath. Good. And stepping it to the long side of the mat. Let's just open the legs out about 2 shoulder widths apart. Toes pointing towards the front, putting the hands onto the hips. Standing up tall, just becoming aware of your pelvis here. It might have just popped backwards as you open your legs out wide. So see, can you just curl it under and maybe put your fingers on your hips and your thumbs on the bottom of your rib cage and see if they are in line with each other. So if you let your pelvis go backwards, you'll notice that they come out of line. So it just helps you keep them in line with each other. And again, just practicing that breath, inhaling, filling the belly, exhaling, lifting the pelvic floor, drawing the belly button in and up. Good, and let's open the arms out into a T, softening the shoulders. And we're going to touch our left foot with our right hand. So we're going to just take a little twist here, allowing that left arm to come up. So just go to where works for you here. Bend your knee as much as you need to. Don't worry if your hand doesn't get to the floor. Taking a breath here. And let's just move that over to the right. Taking a breath. And to the left for a breath. And to the right. And now bringing the hands into the center. And we're going to walk these hands out so we come into a wide-legged downward dog. So just do it whatever way you can manage it with your space. But notice how you can make that spine really long. When the legs are out wide, you might just find it a little bit easier with your downward dog. It's less strain on your hamstrings. Of course, have those knees bent and heels up as much as you need to. Now let's just walk those hands back to the center. And this time let them continue to walk back between your feet towards the back of the mat. Good, and coming back to center so your spine is neutral. We're going to just turn our right foot up towards the top of the mat, turn that left foot inwards so it's pointing towards that left corner, turning the body around so that your head is, or your body is over that front leg. Good, one more breath here. And we're going to lift up, so pushing into the mat with your feet, come halfway up so your spine is long, and let your legs or your arms come out in front of you. Have your knees as bent as they need to be here. Good, one more breath. And let those hands come down either side of that leg And just walk it around to the center again. Taking a breath. And once again, walking those hands out into your wide-legged downward dog. Nice long spine, finding that space between your hips and your rib cage. Expanding it out. And then walking those hands back through center and towards the back of the mat. And letting them come into the middle so you're in neutral spine. So it's fine if you're up here on your fingertips, whatever way your skeleton is, for you to be in neutral spine as you're kind of halfway between the floor and standing upwards. And let's turn that left foot towards the back of the mat, turn the right foot inwards so it's pointing towards the right hand corner at the back. And again, bending those knees as much as you need to make this work for you. So work with your own body. You want to feel a little bit of a stretch on the back of your leg, but nothing that's painful. It should just feel like a nice, comfortable stretch on both legs, especially probably the calf of that back leg. Good, and then from here, pressing into the mat with your feet, raising those arms up and the torso halfway up. Good, one more breath. And letting those hands come down either side of the foot. And once again, walking back to the center. And walking those hands out into your wide-legged downward dog. Pushing the hips back towards the back of the mat, pushing the hips away from the hands. Good, one more breath. And then walking the hands back into the center, heel toe the feet together and come down onto the knees, onto all fours, and on down to your belly. Letting that forehead come down onto the mat. And having the hands either side of the chest here. Just taking a breath. And then keeping the hands really light, we're going to draw the chest up into our cobra. So lifting the chest away from the mat, keeping the gaze on the mat, and then lowering it down. And once again. And lowering it down. And again. And lowering it down. Good. And this time we're going to lift up and we're going to allow the hands to take a little bit more weight as we turn to our gaze towards our left heel. And lower it down. And we're going to do the same on the other side. So lifting up, hands taking a little more weight as we turn our gaze towards the right heel. Good. And let's just come onto the toes of the feet and do the same thing again. Lifting up, turning the gaze to the left. And coming down. And once again, lifting up, turning the gaze to the right. And coming all the way down. Good, let those feet open out. And from here, we're just going to turn onto our backs. Letting the legs come out long. And then bending the knees. And hugging the knees into the chest. Just take a little massage here of your back. Coming to stillness, letting the feet come down to the mat, palms turning upwards, and straighten out the legs. Before we go into our final relaxation, I just want to say thank you so much for joining me. I hope you enjoyed that practice. I hope you have a fabulous Christmas and really enjoy yourself. Take it easy, look after yourself, be kind to yourself. And don't forget, we've got our 12 days of yoga coming up, starting on Christmas Day with a really nice short meditation to keep you calm. And we will, of course, be releasing new practices, long and short, every day for the 12 days from Christmas Day through to January 5th. So I hope you can join us for that and that you enjoy them. And indeed, do let any friends you think might be interested or might enjoy them, let them know. Feel free to share it as much as you want. It will all be on the page, the Facebook page, and of course we'll send it to you via Patreon as well, but it'll be on the page rather than the group, because we're giving it free to everybody. So I will bid you a namaste and a very happy Christmas, as I just invite you to totally let go now. Allow yourself to melt into the mat, letting the mat hold you, enjoying the security of the mat supporting you. And let that attention just move to your breath. As you breathe in through your nose, into your belly, and out through your nose. Taking a little moment here of gratitude to yourself and to your body. And observing your breath, just begin to connect with your inner self, your true nature. And go to your favorite place.